Imagine for a moment the most successful people you know. What is it that separates them from the rest? It's not just talent, it's not luck. It's a quality far more powerful and an unshakable mindset that refuses to give up, even in the face of failure, setbacks, or uncertainty. Developing a mind that never quits isn't a secret, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, strengthened, and refined. A mind that never quits starts with purpose. Purpose is the internal compass that guides every decision and every action. When you know why you are doing something, the obstacles that once felt insurmountable begin to shrink. Purpose fuels resilience because it keeps your eyes on the horizon rather than on the immediate pain. When challenges come, and you'll have a reason to keep moving forward that goes beyond temporary discomfort or fear of failure. The second pillar is consistency and effort. It's easy to be motivated for a day or even a week. The real power comes from showing up every single day, even when motivation fades. A mind that never quits understands that progress is rarely dramatic. It's built on small, deliberate actions repeated over time. The mind learns through repetition, and each act of discipline strengthens the neural pathways of perseverance. Over time, quitting becomes a foreign concept because persistence becomes a habit. The third principle is embracing failure as feedback. Every challenge, every setback, every mistake is not a signal to give up. It's data to help you improve. A resilient mind sees failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. The more you reframe failures as opportunities to learn, the more adaptable, creative, and fearless you become. This shift in perspective transforms fear into curiosity and hesitation into action. Next is control over your inner dialogue. The thoughts you allow to dominate your mind shape the reality you experience. A mind that never quits is disciplined in choosing which voices to listen to, the voice of doubt or the voice of determination. By consciously cultivating positive, constructive, and empowering thoughts, you create a mental environment where quitting is simply not an option. Finally, surrounding yourself with the right environment is essential. Your mindset is influenced by the people, media, and culture around you. A mind that never quits flourishes in a supportive, challenging, and inspiring environment. Seek out mentors, peers, and communities that push you to grow, encourage resilience, and normalize the grind required to succeed. Developing a mind that never quits is not an overnight process. It is a daily practice of purpose, consistency, learning from failure, mastering your inner dialogue, and curating your environment. Each choice, each thought, and each action compounds over time. And when challenges inevitably arise, your mind won't waver. It will adapt, persist, and overcome. The truth is, strength of mind is not reserved for the gifted or the lucky. It is built, refined, and earned. Every time you face difficulty and refuse to quit, you are training your mind to stand stronger the next time. And with this mindset, you will not only navigate life's storms, you will thrive in them. For keynotes of the speech, develop a strong sense of purpose to fuel resilience. Practice consistency and effort and show up every day. Embrace failure as feedback to improve and grow. Master your inner dialogue to strengthen determination. Surround yourself with supportive and inspiring environments. Developing a strong sense of purpose is the foundation of a mind that never quits. Purpose is not just a vague idea of wanting to succeed or be happy. It is a clearly defined reason for why you wake up every morning, why you continue when obstacles appear, and why you refuse to settle for mediocrity. When you have a purpose, you are anchored in something far greater than temporary setbacks, fleeting emotions, or external circumstances. Purpose acts as the internal compass that guides your actions, decisions, and mindset, ensuring that even when the path becomes difficult, you remain on course. Without a clear purpose, the mind becomes vulnerable to distraction, doubt, and surrender because challenges begin to feel meaningless. When purpose is strong, however, challenges become tests of commitment, and every obstacle transforms into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Understanding your purpose requires reflection, honesty, and sometimes even discomfort. It demands that you look beyond superficial desires and societal expectations to identify what truly drives you, what aligns with your values, and what ignites your passion. This process is not always easy because it forces you to confront uncertainty and face the possibility that your current habits, choices, or lifestyle may not be aligned with your true goals. Yet this is precisely why purpose is so powerful. It cuts through noise, fear, and hesitation, providing clarity and direction. Purpose creates a narrative for your life, a story that you can continually tell yourself when motivation fades or difficulties arise. When the nights feel long, the tasks overwhelming, and the progress slow, your purpose reminds you why the struggle is worth it. It acts as a source of intrinsic motivation that cannot be easily shaken by external factors because it is deeply personal and inherently meaningful. Those who cultivate a strong sense of purpose often find that it shapes not only their actions, but also their resilience. Purpose fuels determination by giving the mind something to latch onto when circumstances are beyond control. It transforms abstract goals into tangible reasons to endure and persist. It helps you distinguish between temporary discomfort and real danger, teaching the mind to endure pain that is necessary for growth while avoiding unnecessary distractions that drain energy. Moreover, purpose helps prioritize effort and attention. When you have a clear sense of why you are pursuing something, you naturally become selective with your time, energy, and focus. You are less likely to waste mental resources on trivial matters or become derailed by negative influences because your purpose defines what matters most. This clarity reduces internal conflict and strengthens mental stamina because your actions are consistent with your values and goals. A mind without purpose often feels fragmented, scattered, and reactive, responding to every challenge with indecision or defeat. A mind anchored in purpose, however, responds with direction and persistence because it has a reason to keep moving forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Purpose also strengthens long-term resilience. Immediate results are rarely dramatic, and without a meaningful reason to endure the slow, often tedious process of growth, most people abandon their efforts too soon. Purpose provides the patience to withstand delays, the courage to face repeated failures, and the perseverance to keep learning and improving. It transforms a mindset that might otherwise quit under pressure into one that views setbacks as necessary steps toward a larger mission. Finally, purpose fosters a sense of responsibility and ownership over your own life. When your purpose is clear, you understand that your actions, choices, and mindset are directly tied to the fulfillment of that purpose. This ownership creates empowerment rather than helplessness, instilling a confidence that fuels relentless effort. Developing a strong sense of purpose is not an optional luxury for those seeking a mind that never quits. It is the very bedrock upon which resilience, consistency, and perseverance are built. It is the fuel that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. And it is the reason the mind keeps moving forward when others falter. A mind guided by purpose does not quit, because quitting would mean abandoning something fundamentally meaningful, something that gives life direction, energy, and significance. Consistency in effort is one of the most powerful habits a mind that never quits can cultivate. Talent and intelligence alone will not carry you to success. They are important, but they are unreliable when compared to the quiet power of showing up day after day, regardless of circumstances. Consistency transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results, not because each action is monumental, but because repetition compounds over time. The human brain is wired to respond to repeated behaviors, gradually strengthening neural pathways that support focus, perseverance, and resilience. Each time you commit to your goal, even when the immediate reward is invisible, you are training your mind to endure, to persist, and to adapt. This is why consistency matters more than short bursts of inspiration or temporary motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes with mood, energy, or external circumstances. Consistency, on the other hand, is deliberate action taken regardless of how you feel, and it creates a dependable framework upon which success can be built. A mind that never quits understands this distinction and does not rely on feelings to determine effort. Instead, it relies on systems, routines, and habits designed to produce incremental progress every day. Every day of showing up adds a brick to the foundation of skill, knowledge, and discipline. Over time, these bricks accumulate into a structure so strong that obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become manageable challenges. Consistency also builds confidence. The more you follow through with repeated effort, the more proof you have that you are capable, reliable, and disciplined. Confidence generated from consistent action is different from fleeting self-esteem. It is deep, earned, and unshakable. This kind of confidence reinforces the mind's refusal to quit because it is backed by tangible evidence of competence and endurance. Another essential aspect of consistency is the acceptance of gradual progress. Many people abandon their goals because they expect immediate results, and when they do not see instant success, they interpret it as failure. A mind that never quits recognizes that meaningful growth is rarely sudden. It is the result of sustained effort over time, often in small, seemingly insignificant increments. Each action may feel minor, even tedious, but collectively, these actions create momentum that cannot be stopped. Consistency also cultivates resilience. When you commit to showing up every day, even during difficult or inconvenient circumstances, you train your mind to endure discomfort and uncertainty. You learn to separate what is within your control, your effort and your actions, from what is not, such as external recognition, timing, or unforeseen challenges. This clarity allows the mind to focus on what truly matters and prevents quitting in response to temporary setbacks or external pressures. Furthermore, consistent effort enhances adaptability and problem solving. When you maintain regular practice or engagement in your work, you expose yourself to challenges repeatedly, which provides opportunities to learn, refine strategies, and improve efficiency. Consistency is not merely about quantity of effort, but about the quality of attention and the commitment to continuous improvement. The act of showing up itself creates feedback loops that the mind can use to adjust, innovate, and overcome obstacles more effectively. The environment also plays a role in supporting consistency. Surrounding yourself with reminders, systems, and supportive individuals reinforces the habit of showing up, making it easier to maintain effort when motivation dips. This combination of personal discipline and environmental support ensures that the mind develops a resilient pattern of action, one that persists even when external circumstances are challenging. Ultimately, consistency in effort is a declaration to yourself and the world that your goals matter more than temporary discomfort, distractions, or uncertainty. It is a demonstration of commitment, discipline, and belief in the process, which over time transforms ambition into achievement. A mind that never quits is built day by day through this unwavering commitment to consistent effort, and it is through these repeated, intentional actions that lasting success and personal growth are realized. Embracing failure as feedback is a mindset that separates those who quit from those who persist, adapt, and ultimately succeed. Too often, failure is seen as a negative endpoint, a judgment on one's abilities, or a signal to give up. A mind that never quits, however, understands that failure is not final. It is information. Each setback, mistake, or challenge carries with it a lesson, an insight, or a signal that something needs to be adjusted. Viewing failure through this lens transforms it from a source of fear into a tool for growth. When you embrace failure as feedback, you begin to reframe every obstacle as an opportunity to improve. This does not mean that failure is easy or that the emotions associated with it disappear. Frustration, disappointment, and doubt are natural, but they are temporary. What defines a resilient mind is the ability to process these emotions, extract the lesson, and use it to inform the next step forward. By analyzing failure, you gain clarity on what works, what doesn't, and where improvement is needed. This process of reflection and adjustment is far more powerful than avoiding failure entirely because it accelerates learning, sharpens skills, and builds the experience necessary to navigate complex challenges. Moreover, failure encourages humility and self-awareness. When you fail, you confront your limitations, biases, and assumptions. This confrontation is uncomfortable but essential for growth. A mind that never quits uses these moments to recalibrate, not to retreat. It recognizes that failure is not a reflection of identity, but a reflection of action. Mistakes do not define you, your response to them does. Developing this mindset requires shifting focus from outcomes to processes. Most people evaluate success solely based on results, which makes failure feel threatening. A mind that never quits evaluates progress based on effort, learning, and adaptation. By valuing the lessons embedded in failure, the mind can remain motivated even when tangible results are delayed or imperfect. This approach also fosters creativity and innovation. When failure is no longer feared, the mind becomes more willing to experiment, take calculated risks, and explore unconventional solutions. Each failure provides data that informs the next attempt, gradually refining strategies and improving effectiveness. The path to mastery in any field is rarely linear. It is filled with setbacks, revisions, and trial and error. The ability to embrace failure as feedback ensures that each of these setbacks contributes to growth rather than discouragement. In addition, failure builds resilience and grit. Facing repeated challenges and emerging stronger each time strengthens the neural pathways associated with persistence, problem solving, and emotional regulation. The mind learns that difficulties are temporary and manageable, and that giving up is a choice rather than an inevitability. Over time, this reinforces the belief that challenges are opportunities to test strength rather than threats to stability. Another important aspect of using failure as feedback is accountability. A mind that never quits takes responsibility for its actions and their outcomes, analyzing what went wrong without blame or excuses. This level of accountability accelerates learning and prevents repeated mistakes, creating a cycle of continuous improvement. It also cultivates confidence because each failure faced and understood becomes evidence that setbacks are manageable and solvable. This transforms fear into courage, hesitation into action, and doubt into determination. Ultimately, embracing failure as feedback creates a mindset that is fearless, adaptable, and relentless. It allows the mind to navigate uncertainty with curiosity and determination rather than avoidance or surrender. By internalizing failure as a necessary and valuable part of growth, you transform challenges into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. A mind trained in this way does not quit when faced with difficulty. It leans into the experience, learns, adapts, and emerges stronger, ready to face the next challenge with increased wisdom and resilience. Control over your inner dialogue is one of the most powerful tools in developing a mind that never quits. The thoughts we allow to dominate our minds shape not only how we perceive the world, but also how we act within it. Every person experiences self-doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But what separates those who persist from those who give up is the ability to consciously guide their thinking. A mind that never quits learns to recognize negative or limiting thoughts as what they truly are, temporary mental events that do not define capability or potential. By actively managing inner dialogue, you can replace doubt with confidence, fear with courage, and hesitation with determination. This process begins with awareness. Before you can control your thoughts, you must notice them. Most people operate on autopilot, allowing self-criticism or defeatist thinking to influence decisions and actions. A resilient mind becomes vigilant, observing negative patterns and choosing when to engage with them and when to redirect focus. It recognizes that thoughts are not commands, they are signals, and it has the power to respond rather than react. The next step is reframing. Once negative thoughts are identified, they can be consciously reframed into constructive ones that support persistence and growth. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," the mind that never quits asks, "What can I learn from this challenge?" Or "How can I approach this differently?" This shift changes the internal narrative from one of limitation to one of possibility. Reframing thoughts also cultivates resilience because the mind becomes trained to view obstacles not as insurmountable walls, but as puzzles to solve. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to exercise skill, creativity, and determination. Over time, this positive mental habit strengthens neural pathways associated with problem solving and perseverance, making resilience more natural and automatic. Controlling inner dialogue is also about regulating emotional responses. Thoughts and emotions are deeply connected. Unchecked negative thinking can amplify fear, frustration, and discouragement. A mind that never quits learns to observe emotional reactions without being swept away by them. It practices responding to emotions thoughtfully, allowing reason to guide decisions rather than impulsive feelings. This emotional regulation builds steadiness and mental endurance, which are critical when facing long-term challenges or high-pressure situations. Another essential aspect is affirmation and self-talk. Consistent use of positive, empowering statements reinforces belief in one's abilities and fosters a mindset of persistence. This does not mean denying reality or ignoring challenges. It means strengthening confidence and focus while acknowledging difficulty. Statements like, "I can learn from this," "I will keep trying," or "this is part of the process," become mental tools that anchor the mind in resilience. Surrounding inner dialogue with a supportive mental environment also matters. Just as external environments influence behavior, the internal environment, composed of thoughts, beliefs, and self-perceptions, guides action. A mind that never quits carefully curates its internal narrative, consciously choosing thoughts that encourage growth, effort, and perseverance. Habits of reflection, meditation, journaling, or mindfulness can help maintain clarity and control over inner dialogue. These practices create space between thought and action, allowing conscious choice rather than automatic reaction. Furthermore, controlling inner dialogue strengthens decision-making under pressure. When challenges arise, a mind dominated by fear or doubt tends to hesitate, overthink, or retreat. A disciplined inner dialogue provides calm, clarity, and focus, enabling decisive action and persistent effort. It acts as a filter, allowing constructive ideas to emerge while dismissing paralyzing negativity. Ultimately, the ability to master inner dialogue is central to a mind that never quits. It is the mechanism through which resilience is cultivated, confidence is strengthened, and perseverance becomes habitual. By observing, reframing, and consciously guiding thoughts, a person develops the mental fortitude to face setbacks without surrendering, to endure difficulty without despair, and to act decisively even when uncertainty looms. This practice transforms the mind into a steadfast ally, one that encourages growth, fosters courage, and refuses to give up, no matter how steep the climb or how long the journey. Surrounding yourself with the right environment is a critical factor in developing a mind that never quits. The people, places, and influences you allow into your life have a profound impact on your thoughts, habits, and ultimately your mindset. Just as a plant cannot thrive in poor soil, a mind cannot reach its full potential when it is constantly exposed to negativity, doubt, or distractions. A supportive environment provides reinforcement, motivation, and perspective that strengthens perseverance and fuels growth. The people around you play perhaps the most important role. A mind that never quits seeks out mentors, peers, and communities that challenge and inspire, rather than those that reinforce limiting beliefs or excuses. Being around individuals who are disciplined, persistent, and growth-oriented provides a model for behavior, making resilience and dedication feel attainable and normal. Positive social influences offer encouragement when motivation wanes, constructive feedback when mistakes are made, and accountability when effort begins to slip. These relationships create a safety net that allows the mind to take risks, experiment, and face challenges without fear of isolation or judgment. Equally important is the physical environment. The spaces you occupy can influence focus, energy, and mental clarity. A cluttered or chaotic environment often mirrors a cluttered mind, making it harder to concentrate and stay consistent. By designing spaces that support concentration, creativity, and intentional action, you remove unnecessary obstacles that drain energy and willpower. This includes not only the home or workplace, but also the digital spaces you inhabit. The content you consume, the notifications you allow, and the habits you cultivate online can either strengthen your mindset or undermine it. Choosing sources of information, inspiration, and learning that align with your goals ensures that your mental environment is filled with ideas, strategies, and encouragement that support perseverance. Another element of the right environment is exposure to challenges and opportunities for growth. A mind that never quits does not avoid difficulty. It seeks situations that push limits, build skill, and expand resilience. Surrounding yourself with high expectations, constructive pressure, and healthy competition encourages the development of mental toughness. It trains the mind to adapt, problem solve, and persist under circumstances that might otherwise induce surrender. Environmental influence also extends to routines and habits. A consistent, structured routine supports focus and reduces the mental energy spent on trivial decisions, allowing more resources to be dedicated to meaningful effort. Habits formed within a supportive environment reinforce persistence and discipline, creating a feedback loop where effort leads to progress, progress leads to confidence, and confidence fuels further action. Additionally, the environment affects mindset through cultural and social norms. Being immersed in communities that value growth, learning, and resilience normalizes the behaviors necessary to develop a mind that never quits. It instills the belief that perseverance is not only possible but expected. This normalization reduces the internal conflict that arises when personal goals clash with external pressures, making it easier to maintain focus and consistency. Importantly, curating the right environment also means setting boundaries. Just as you invite supportive influences, you must limit exposure to negative or draining people, habits, and stimuli. Protecting mental energy is not selfish, it is strategic. By reducing unnecessary friction, distraction, and negativity, you give yourself the mental clarity and strength needed to persist in the face of genuine challenges. Ultimately, Surrounding yourself with the right environment transforms the journey toward a mind that never quits from a solitary struggle into a supported, structured, and motivating process. It reinforces the principles of purpose, consistency, learning from failure, and disciplined thought by providing external conditions that make these habits easier to maintain and more effective. The mind absorbs patterns, attitudes, and energy from its surroundings. And when those surroundings are carefully chosen, they act as catalysts for growth, resilience, and unstoppable determination. A mind cultivated within such an environment is constantly reinforced, inspired, and challenged, making quitting not just unlikely, but almost unthinkable, because the very ecosystem around it is designed to support perseverance, growth, and relentless pursuit of goals. Developing a mind that never quits is not a matter of luck, talent, or fleeting motivation. It is a deliberate practice, a daily commitment to growth, and a conscious choice to persevere. It begins with a strong sense of purpose that anchors your actions and keeps you moving forward when challenges arise. It is strengthened through consistent effort, showing up every day, and trusting the power of small, repeated actions. It is refined by embracing failure as feedback, viewing every setback as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. It is fortified by controlling your inner dialogue, transforming doubt and fear into courage, determination, and clarity. And it flourishes within the right environment, surrounded by people, routines, and influences that inspire, challenge, and support resilience. When all of these principles come together, quitting is no longer an option because your mind is equipped, trained, and aligned to overcome obstacles, endure setbacks, and persist in pursuit of meaningful goals. A mind that never quits is not born. It is built, nurtured, and strengthened through deliberate choices, daily practice, and unwavering commitment. And once you develop this mindset, there is no challenge too great, no setback too discouraging, and no goal too distant. Your potential becomes limitless, your resilience unstoppable, and your journey towards success inevitable.